Hello guys and welcome to Age of Heroes, a multiplayer MOBA for Age of Empires 2. This video is designed to help you understand the gameplay and how it all works. It shouldn't be too long, but there are a few basics that you need to understand in order to actually enjoy this game mode to its fullest. Now we have to pick a hero really quickly, otherwise we will be disqualified. And in the hero selection phase you do have 18 different heroes that you can choose from. Now I will talk more about the heroes in just a moment's time. Now the main objective in Age of Heroes is to kill your opponents or the opposing team's ancients. Now it is a 3 versus 3 setup with 3 heroes on each team. Player 1, 2 and 3 are at the south of the map. They start down here as the Radiant, and at the north of the map Team 2, which is player 4, 5 and 6, are the Dire. So it's the Dire versus the Radiant, and the idea is to kill your opponent's Ancient, which is this big fancy looking building which is in each base. Now player 7 and player 8 are kind of like neutral. They are against each other, but you cannot interact with them. They just make sure that the game functions correctly. Now in Age of Heroes and most MOBA games, there are 3 lanes. Now a lane is basically a pathway that goes from one base to the other. So the top lane would start here at the Radiant base, and it would go all the way up the left hand side of the map, all the way up to the very sort of northwest of the map, and then it will go across, and this is still the top lane, and it will go all the way along to here into the Dire's base. And there is the center lane as well, which is the shortest of the lanes, which goes straight through the middle. And then of course there is the bottom lane, which is down here at the bottom of the map. Now these lanes have towers on them, and the towers are situated kind of, at regular intervals. There's 3 towers in each lane. One tower that starts at your base, and then you have one in the center and one at the end. These towers are pretty hard hitting. They have a lot of attack points, and they are there to basically prevent you from rushing down your opponent's base. Now what usually happens is the creeps, which are these guys here, will continually spawn throughout the game from your base and from the opponent's base, and they will just fight. Now if they're left on their own, these guys will not really push a tower down. Some may get an advantage, but then they'll be pushed back, and it's basically a constant stalemate. Now the point of these creeps are that they give you experience and they give you gold when you kill them, and that is where we get to the hero. Now the heroes are over here on the left, which is where you select them from, and you've got 18 different heroes. They all have different statistics, they all fall into different classes, and there are 4 different classes in this game as well. But don't worry about classes just yet. If you want to read more about that or find out more about that, then you can check out the link in the description below. But yeah, you choose your heroes and they spawn in this area here, which is your fountain. In this area, obviously you have one unit to control, and that is your hero. Now as you can see at the top, we have experience, which is represented as food, and we have gold, which is of course represented as gold. Now the reason I have more gold and experience is because the opposing team didn't actually choose their heroes, so they're technically out, and I effectively get free experience from that. Obviously when it's a 3v3 situation, your opponents will choose their heroes correctly, and you won't have any disqualifications at the start, which will of course give you an advantage. So your hero is basically the main and only unit that you will control, and the idea is to level your hero up. There are 20 levels, starting at level 1 of course, and buy items with your gold so that your hero can become stronger and stronger, and eventually push down these towers and work your way towards the enemy ancient, which you can then destroy to win the game. So your hero is really, the focal point here, but you can buy a lot of items, and the items are really, really useful. So over here at the in each base, the Radiant and the Dire both have the same technologies or items that they can buy. We have got Haste, which will increase the speed of your hero. We have Health Potion, which will increase your hero's HP, give you a little HP boost. but it won't increase your overall HP. We have a leather shield, a quelling blade, iron boots, and gauntlets of power. These are basically items that increase your statistics, such as your attack, defense, and hit points. Now, let's buy some haste and health potions to give a demonstration. So we could buy a haste. We stand on the flag, we'll buy 2 of them. Haste is represented by wood. So if we have a look at the top resources, we can see we have 2 wood, and that means we have 2 haste potions which we can activate. We can buy a health potion, which will be here, and that costs 20 gold and is represented by stone. So they are basically now in our bank. We have 2 health potions and 2 haste potions. And you're probably wondering, okay, so how do we activate them? Well, that's quite simple. Now, down here we have got a bunch of kings. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's a little bit complicated. Got to select the king, move it to the flag to activate the ability. But if you use proper hotkeys, it's actually really easy to do. So using control groups, which is exactly how this scenario is intended to be set up, you will control group your hero as control group 1. So if you press control +1, you select your hero and do that. You will be able to select your hero by pressing 1 on your keyboard. And you will also do that for the kings. It's up to you how you set it up. I like to have haste as control 2. So if I press 2, I can select my haste, and then I can select the cataphract again by pressing 1. If I press control 3, I have healing potion on 3. I have, well, archer power is irrelevant at the moment for me because I'm a melee hero. I have 4 as melee power, and I have 5 as enrage. There will be more abilities to activate later on, but for now this is what we've got to play with. So selecting our cataphract, what we can do is basically the focus will always be on your hero. We can press 2, which will activate haste if we right click anywhere on the screen. So if we have the haste king selected, we right click anywhere, haste will be activated, and our hero will move faster. Haste is a temporary speed boost that you can give to your hero to help them move faster, to chase down enemies, and to basically get around the map. So you can activate haste at any time. There is a little bit of a cooldown, and we can activate again, I think now. Maybe not. Haste is still active, or it's on cooldown. There we go, now it's activated again. We can get down here to the lane and start to kill these guys, basically. So as you can see, orange pushed up a little bit, but grey is pushed back now because they came into range of the tower, and the tower killed orange very quickly. Now the way you get experience and gold is by last hitting creep. So these guys are called creep. And if you get the last killing blow onto a creep, you will get gold and food. Food obviously being experience. And you'll get 2 gold and 2 food for killing a creep. So if we hang around here, we might get a final kill. It's going to be pretty tough actually, because we have got a lot of units here helping out. So getting last hits can be quite difficult, but it's a really, really important part of the game. So we'll try and get a last hit there. And well, at the moment, yeah, there we go. Got one. You can see I've just leveled up to level 5 as well. And we'll have a quick look at the leveling system. So over in the far right of the map, we have the relics here, which represent levels. The relics at the top represent player 1, and the relics at the bottom represent player 6, with player 2, 3, 4, 5 being in the middle. Each hay bale represents 5 levels, so you can see very quickly that player 1 is at level 5, which we know to be the case because we just saw that pop up there. Now each time your hero levels up, you'll get stat increases, extra armor, extra attack points, extra health, extra range, extra speed, depending on what class your hero is or what hero you've chosen. All heroes level differently, and that's really important when you're learning the game, to choose heroes that will be good and work together very well. So leveling up your hero works like that. It's very simple. You also get gold from destroying towers, and you also get experience from killing enemy heroes. Unfortunately, there's no one to play with at the moment, so there are no enemy heroes to kill. Now we'll have a look at the shops and some other map features. Over on the side lanes, because these are much further away from your base, there is a side shop here where you can buy more haste and health potions. So as you can see, if we stand on these flags, we can buy haste. If we stand on this flag, we can buy a healing potion. Obviously we've ran out of haste now, so it might be a good idea to buy some haste in case we need to get away, and we can obviously activate that as shown earlier. We also have 2 other secret shops. The other side lane shop is on the opposite side. The secret shops are here on the map. It's kind of just to the right of the middle tower for the Radiant, and at this shop we have much more expensive items that are unique to this shop only. These items can be very expensive, and later on in the game you will have a lot of gold, so it's worth spending the gold to buy these items and increase the stats of your hero. Now we've got 124 gold to play with. Let's see what we can actually buy. We've got chainmail, which obviously gives you more armor, Assassin's Blade, which gives you attack, Elven Robes, which gives you armor, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through them all. So if we stand on the flag for the Assassin's Blade, we spend our 105 gold and we get extra AP. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The other secret shop is on the dire side of the map, and there are different items in each of these shops. That's a really important one to remember. If you want a certain build, if you want to focus on getting attack, you may have to go over to their side of the map to try and buy some items that will benefit you. Next we're going to have a look at the center of the map. This is the river. It splits the map pretty much directly in half, and the river spawns runes. These runes are represented by relics which spawn in this position and this position here. They are randomly generated and they have different effects. This one is a strength rune, so if we go nearby we get a temporary buff to strength. We get an extra 3 attack points. And that is really useful if you're playing in the middle lane, because if you have good rune control and you collect the runes effectively, you can really gain an advantage over your opponent, who will also be in the center lane fighting against you. So that will wear off very soon. Over time, that will eventually go down. We just leveled up to level 6, so you may have briefly noticed that the attack went up and back down again there. That's because I leveled up and got some extra AP. Now, heroes will regenerate over time, health will regenerate, and the higher level you get, obviously the more health you'll have, and the more quickly you will regenerate health. Now, I've got pretty low because I stood near the tower. Those towers hit very hard until you get to higher levels. But this is a good time to demonstrate a health potion. So I've selected the healing potion by pressing my control group 3, and I'll right click anywhere to do that. Healing potion gets used and we instantly heal 50 health. So that's really good if you're running away from the enemy and you need to kind of get a little health buff so that you don't die. Or even if you get too close to a tower and you kind of a bit negligent to the fact about the fact that you're being attacked by 30 damage every time the tower hits you. So we're going to come over here now, and this bit we cannot demonstrate properly because I am not high enough level, but this is Hagrul. Hagrul is this boar thing here, which we're going to go take a look at. Now, Hagrul guards the Aegis. The Aegis is this thing right here. It's called the Aegis of the Immortal. Now, if you kill Hagrul, you will have access to the Aegis of Immortal, and if you collect the Aegis of the Immortal, whenever you go below 50 HP, your HP bar will instantly fill up to full. It's basically like a second life. And the reason that is so important is because when you die, you do have a 90-second respawn timer, in which case the opposing team can really gain a huge advantage over you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly level up so I get some more stats on this hero, and once I've done that, I'm going to go take on Hagrul and demonstrate the Aegis of the Immortal. Okay, so I'm now level 11, and while I talk about leveling up for a second, I'm going to move over to Hagrul. Leveling up is actually done exponentially. The amount of experience it takes to get from level 1 to 5 is about the same as it takes to get from level I think 11 to about 14. So as you level up higher and higher, you need more and more experience to actually reach the next level, and that of course means that as you get to higher levels, the amount of buff you gets gradually larger. It's also worth pointing out that the creep do get stronger as well as the game progresses, so that it doesn't get incredibly easy to farm. So anyway, we are nearly at full HP. I'm going to go into the Hagrul here, and I've also got a health potion, so I can get a little bit of health back. So let's start attacking him, and when we kill him, if we kill him, it's usually quite challenging. We should be just fine. When we kill him, we will be able to pick up the Aegis and demonstrate how that works. Now, while we do kill Hagrul, we'll point out that this is very early in development in terms of balancing, creating a balanced scenario, a balanced game is going to be very difficult, and that's something that I will be continuing to work on for a substantial amount of time. It's really important that all the heroes are well balanced and they all fit their purpose well. So Hagrul is dead, and we're going to come into here and collect the Aegis now. So the Aegis has been collected, and now when we get below 50 health, our hero will automatically basically come back to life and regain all of their health once again. So this could be a huge tactical advantage. If, for instance, my team collected the Aegis at this stage, it could be really worthwhile to go and make a big push, because if one of you dies, it doesn't really matter, because you'll just respawn and regenerate instantly instead of waiting for the 90-minute cooldown, 90-second cooldown timer. 90 minutes would be a little bit too long. So here we go, we are down, and bam, the Aegis is activated, and I go back straight up to full health. So that is an incredibly powerful tool to use. That's about it for now. Oh yeah, one more thing as well. You see back at base, we've got the archery range and the barracks. Now it's really worth taking these buildings down. Once you push down your opponent's towers, the next thing to go for is the archery range and the barracks, because if you do take down the archery range and the barracks on each lane, so if you kill all 6, then you will get mega creeps. So for instance, for the Radiant team, if they kill all 6 of these barracks and archery ranges, they will get mega creeps, and mega creeps get an extra attack and extra stats basically, which means that they are able to push the lanes much harder, and they will start to push down towers on their own, giving the team that manages to take down the opposing barracks a real big advantage. It's just a real game ender, though it's not impossible to come back from that position. There you have it. That's pretty much Age of Heroes summed up. There are maybe a couple more things, and I will add them to the end of this video if I thought I've missed something out. But thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully this has given a real quick and concise overview, and you now understand how to play. There's many more things that this game will include, and as I say, it is still in development. But if you want to check it out, then check the link in the description to this video for more information. Okay, so there was one more thing that I actually forgot to mention. There are other kings, as you can see down here. Now, some don't actually have a use yet, and I am in the process of adding more powers and effects that you can use. But we haven't actually looked at the melee power or enrage. And now the melee power is something that's available to all melee heroes. When you activate it, it increases your attack points. You will see that in just a second. If I do this, bam, you get an extra 10 AP for a short amount of time. And when I say short, it is pretty short, but this thing has a big cooldown timer. You don't have to pay any gold to use it, you don't have to buy it from a shop. Anyone is able to use this at any time, providing it's not on cooldown. Now the cooldown is fairly long, so you have to be very cautious about when to use these powers. If, for instance, you've got an opponent who's fairly weak and you're chasing them down, it might be a good idea to use haste so that you can increase your speed, and then use your melee power to increase your attack for a temporary amount of time, to manage to get those final last hits on your opponent to get the kill. Killing heroes is a really fast and effective way of getting gold and an experience. In fact, it's easier to well, it's not easier because they're going to give you a harder time, but if you can kill enemy heroes quite easily, then you should try and do it, because you will get more experience and gold than if you just sit in the lane and kill creep all day. The other effect is Enrage, and Enrage will slash 100 health off of your HP. It is only temporary, so it's not something that you can suicide by using Enrage. You've got to be careful. It will take off 100 health, but it will give you extra attack damage for, again, a short period of time. Now obviously you will regen that back a little bit, but that is something that you can use provided you have more than 100 health. If you don't have 100 health or more, you will die if you use Enrage, which is a way that you can suicide and prevent the enemy team from getting the satisfaction of killing you. But I do think that is about it for now. There will be more updates and stuff on the forums, which you can check out, as I said before, in the link below in the description to this video. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been Zach, and I will see you next time.